I'm Gabriel, CEO and co-founder of Coinrule. I'm from Italy, but I lived in London for 11 years, so London is what I call now home. Fun fact about myself is that I play underwater hockey, so yes, it is a sport. I play in the Imperial College team. We get all the equipment, we get under the water 5 against 5. It's a lot of fun, you should check it out. I became an entrepreneur because basically I cannot work for corporates. I have always this need to go the extra mile, to disrupt, to change processes that sometimes are obsolete. And that by nature is not something that a corporate is used to, because sometimes they have their own operations that actually are cash cows. So it makes sense not to change them. So I created my first startup 5 years ago already. It was in the fashion business, but even if it was growing, I stopped it because there was no founder market fit. That's what I felt. The second one was a bit of a drama. The team was not right, so it folded itself. And now I'm on the third one, and it's on the right one with my amazing co-founders, Oleg and Zenek. We are on the right path, and we are very happy that we joined the Frankfurt Accelerator. Our expectations for the accelerators are very high. We are very happy to meet fellow entrepreneurs where we can learn from each other, but also to meet the amazing network of mentors across Germany, Israel, and all around the world, as well as connect with the investment ecosystem in Germany. So we are very happy that you joined the program, and looking forward to see you there.
Okay, so we are back live with the second mentoring session of the day. We have Coinrule. Coinrule is daily, has been with us at 1 p.m. CET here. We have the two co-founders, Gabriel and Oleg. But before we get into Coinrule, I'd like the mentors to give a short round of intro. So the spectators and both Coinrule can know who they're talking to. Let's start with Rita, please.
Okay, thank you, Ram. Yes, I'm Rita, and basically my daily job is to be a board member as a non-executive director with some companies. Those are mainly in food, in electrification of transport, and in paints. And I also do some angel investments, have invested in a few companies, and have been member of the Finnish Business Angels Network for 5 years. And with Accelerator Frankfurt, I've been from the very beginning. And prior to this new world, I was working with two American companies in different operational roles, mainly in chemicals business. And blockchain to me is an interesting area because it has so much potential in many different areas, and that's why I'm here today as well, to understand what potential new things there might be and what type of networks that could open up.
Great, thanks. And Rita, if I may add, you did invest in some of the accelerator companies, and you are still here and still happy. So you're doing something right.
That's right.
Lucy, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Lucy. I'm the managing director of Helaba Digital. Helaba Digital is a subsidiary of a public bank located in Frankfurt. Name is Landesbank Hessen-Thüringen. A little bit hard to pronounce in English, actually. The main point is that we are a corporate bank, so we are focusing on B2B business. Means all the corporate finance. We do also real estate finance, and we are, I think, the second largest bank in Germany for cash management. So we are also operating all the cash management for also some retail banks and other banks, and of course ourselves. Helaba Digital is also focusing on cooperation and investment in startups. For us, it's relevant that it has a strategic fit with our business model, actually. So coming from the Helaba business, that means we are not really interested in like private customer business. but we also have some startup scene and can also do some introductions to retail banks if that's necessary, actually. But as I said, we are strategic investors, so for us the business strategic fit is actually the main part. We are looking at various technologies. It's artificial intelligence, of course, blockchain. We have some initiatives within the bank around the blockchain business, and also we are currently looking at electronic or crypto assets in general. What does that mean for us? What does it mean for our customers, etc. So I'm very glad to be part of this session and hear what your idea on that part is.
Excellent, Lucy. Thank you very, very much. Helaba Digital is also one of the supporters of this program, so we do thank you. Carl, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ram. Yeah, I'm Carl. I'm working at Capgemini International IT and Management Consultancy, and I'm their principal public finance, which means that I'm doing consultancy business and technology consulting for ministries of finance at state level and at federal level in Germany. And I'm involved and connected within our Capgemini Global Tax and Welfare Network. And from that role, which is really interesting for me, I'm involved with blockchain technology aspects, and especially in the field of regulation, like regulators FCA or regulators as BaFin. So topics and issues which are on their desk, like, for example, big data and AI, things of this are in my interest. And what I bring in is I have experience on the one side as head of financial communication at AXA Insurance Company in Germany. So I was involved with a lot of regulation topics like Solvency II and things like that. And on the other side, from politics and government. So that's what I bring in, and I'm looking forward to hear more about your solution. Thank you.
Excellent, Carl. Thank you so much. And last but not least, our strategic partner from the legal side, Hassan Sobi.
Yeah. Hi. So I'm a lawyer, as Ram has mentioned. Lots of experience in venture capital, also a lot of fintech. Decentralized finance hasn't been quite yet. I think it's still its time is yet to come. So happy to be involved here, to learn a bit more about blockchain, decentralized finance, and the developments. I think it'll be relevant. I'm happy to contribute as a mentor, both in, let's say, giving advice that an experienced lawyer would give. Maybe that's one. It may not always be specific to what you're asking, but also giving advice. I'm a board member on a couple of companies, so maybe also just generally looking at how companies act and what they do. And thirdly, very happy to open up network and provide contacts and hints who to speak to in case of certain questions. So thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for the introduction. And Oleg and Gabriel, thank you for your patience. The floor is yours now. Let us know what you guys are doing. We're all ears, and mentors, feel free to jump in at any time.
Sure. Thank you guys for the introduction. Today, if someone like me or Oleg or a millennial want to buy some investment, some stocks or some assets and invest some money, the first thing they do, they go on the market and they start buying cryptocurrencies. That's because the world has changed with the blockchain, with the decentralized finance that is more accessible for millennials. That's also been acknowledged by the Wall Street in October. They had an issue especially for digital assets and also algorithmic trading. That's because 90% of the market of Wall Street is now governed by quant floor investment banks that are making everything automatic. And that leaves the normal retail trader, the normal retail investor, normal people like us that want to invest a small quantity of money with no weapons to fight back in this automation war. That's why we built Coinrule. With Coinrule, you can say if Bitcoin goes down 3%, buy this other asset, Ripple, for example, at this specific price. And you can set specific condition according to specific indicators. You can tweak your strategy. You can test your strategy on historical data in different market conditions. And then when you feel comfortable, you press play, and the rule goes on the market and trades on your behalf. And so you build basically an automatic strategy within few clicks. Our typical user are people that are a bit techy. They have some knowledge of trading. They start trading on Binance, on Coinbase, but then at some point they see that it takes so much time, so they want to make an automatic strategy, but they don't have any learning experience, any coding experience. So 90% of the investors, of the traders, they don't really have a good programming skills, such as in Python or like APIs knowledge that they can actually run a proper algorithmic trade. And that's why we come in with a no-code solution for them to build that. Another problem is also most of the traders, as said in our research sessions, we do a lot of research, they say that they would like to get upskilled. So they love to get more learning material, and more learning experience. So we do what's called an edutainment experience. There's a part of entertainment, there's a part of that is kind of recalls a little bit of the betting industry, but then there is also a part that is educational, a little bit like Duolingo. And then the third component, it's also that they see all the market going up and down, and then sometimes they don't know what to do, so they would like to have some suggestion of, look, there's this pump, so you can actually take advantage of that with this specific strategy. And then sometimes there is a huge drop, so they actually would like to protect their funds. With Coinrule, you can do that. I think the best way to explain the product is actually to show you literally 1 minute how it works. If Oleg, can you please share the screen?
Let's say maybe just a few words about the backgrounds quickly, Gabriele.
Yes. I forgot the team, of course. Thank you for reminding that. So we are three co-founders. It's me, Oleg, and Zenek. Myself, I'm Italian, but I'm a pure Londoner. Lived in London for 11 years. Worked for several banks, always in the innovation lab. Worked in Lloyds Bank, HSBC, also at the UBS Bank. And at UBS, I was part of a team that built what's now the third trading platform in the world, UBS Neo. And before that, I was at the MIT in the US. I was working in a research lab. I actually worked in Finland, in Helsinki for 1 year at Nokia Siemens. My experience has always been around product innovation, user experience. That's what I studied. That's what my life about. And that's what I'm bringing also in the company that is really built on design principles, human-centered design principles. Oleg?
Yeah, my background is I actually grew up in Frankfurt, the city where our lovely accelerator is based. But I moved to the UK in 2007, did a degree here, went to the University of Oxford, started to work in banking at Citi. So I worked for a few years in the corporate and global public sector teams, and then left in 2016, built my first startup, did that for a while, started to really get into the whole blockchain cryptocurrency space around that time as well. And then Gabriele, me, and our third co-founder, Zdenek, our CTO, we met at an accelerator program called Mass Challenge here in London. And from there on, we ended up starting Coinrule together.
And Zdenek, our third co-founder, is a CTO. He was in London. He's from Czech Republic. So he went back to Czech Republic in Pilsen, that is 1 hour away from Prague, and he built there our tech team. So now we have 3 engineers in Pilsen, and they cost as much as 1 senior developer in London, and they are as good. And that also means that our burn rate monthly is very low, because we have 2 headquarters, 1 in London that does marketing and business, and 1 in Pilsen that does actually the technical part.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you a little bit now the product, because it will give you a much better idea of what actually we are talking about. And then also we can later jump into the business canvas. So this is the dashboard where you see your different strategies. You see how they're performing. I've been doing pretty well here, so I'm relatively happy. The way it works is, that's important to emphasize, the trades don't happen on our side, but our users connect exchanges. So we currently connect to the top cryptocurrency exchanges. So platforms like Kraken, like Coinbase Pro, like Binance. In the future, we are also adding non-crypto platforms. So we are currently in discussions with IG Index, for example. So our users will be able to trade cryptocurrencies, but also other assets, stocks, ETFs, bonds, etc. We don't have the access to your funds, so we cannot move them. We can only view them and place trades. So we have no custody risk in that regard. You can see all your balances in one interface. So in the future, you'll also be able to see, okay, I have so much Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance. I have so much Tesla stock or Apple stock on IG Index and so on. It's one place where you see all your portfolio, but it's also especially one place where you build strategies for your portfolio. And again, the way it works, you can either, this is the trading interface, you can either select from a ready-made template strategy. We have over 150, which our head of trading, who's a very experienced trader with a lot of also banking and finance experience, he put them together. But we'll be also allowing experienced users to add their own templates and run them out in the future. So it will be a social trading element there as well. If you want to build your own strategies, I'm going to do something relatively simple here. Obviously, we have different indicators. Users can also select more advanced ones like technical analysis indicators, but we'll start with something simple. So if any of my assets goes down 5% within 3 hours, I want to get out of this market. Let's say sell 50% of whichever asset is dropping, let's say to a stable coin. And as you can see on the right here, you have like what we call a smart assistant, which tells you exactly in plain English what the strategy would do. So everything here is designed for normal people who trade and invest a bit, but are not necessarily like hyper advanced financial experts. Let's say protect portfolio. I mean, this is an example of a simple rule. So I'm just going to launch it. You get one more time the summary, and it goes into the market. And of course, if you want to build something much more complex, we have strategies that are also more advanced and that have more and more stages. So through an operator, for example, you can add additional steps and specify what will happen after a certain action executes. So you can sell your coins, then after 1 week, buy them back, for example. And of course, the same principles will be applicable to also non-crypto assets once we have that integrated on the platform. Now, you can see how your individual strategies are performing. You see what trades are happening. So we have a lot of users sitting here and basically tracking the rules because they're excited to see what's actually going on. And finally, actually, I will just show you the pricing page. Finally, the way it works from a pricing model point of view, it's very easy. We don't charge any transaction fees. All we do is charge our users a monthly subscription based on a different tier structure. And we also have a pretty strong free plan to get the users actually onboarded and get them excited about the product. And then if they start trading higher volumes, they end up moving up to the plans.
Yeah. So one thing, we achieved all of these. So the product is live, we have traction, we have revenue in 1 year. So last year in July 2019, we got 250,000 USD investment from one bank, MKB Bank from Hungary, Budapest. We were part of their 3 months accelerator. We won as a best startup and we got investment. And the investors are MKB Bank and 2 angels from Finland, actually. My former boss from Finland, from Helsinki. So before joining that accelerator, we joined in February 2019. We were pre-revenue, pre-MVP, pre-traction, pre-team. In 1 year, we were able to achieve all of these. So at the moment, the numbers look like those. We have 7,500 users signed up, around 30% active. We count them in quarterly active users because for us it makes more sense because sometimes they can start a rule and then forget about it, come back in 3 months and see profit. So the way we calculate activation is about asset under management and if they pay monthly, basically. Out of these users, a good part pay for the paid plan. So we have around $2,700 per month revenue. So it's annualized around 30 to 35K annualized revenue. And we are growing in terms of signups around something like 30 to 40% per month. So last month, yeah, something like 30–40% of the money. In terms of visits, last month there were like 6,000 on Google, and now I checked literally yesterday, it was like 9,000 visits. We are exploding in terms of signups because people is at home and they actually take this time to do paperwork, to rebalance their investment. One last thing before I open the floor to the questions is that we reached all of these with zero marketing spend, zero. So the way we do it, it's by doing, we build a proprietary technology internally to build original content for SEO, search engine optimization. That means that we release a lot of landing pages, thousands on Google. They capture several keywords, and for some keywords, we rank first on the first page of Google for free. That trick, that growth hack, helps us to actually generate 80% of the organic traffic on the website, and also generates a lot of sign up all for free. We have the landing pages based on exchanges, on coin names in 7 different languages, and we release every month more and more landing pages. We have something around 100,000 landing pages now on Google. So this is like, and it's all with the proprietary technology we built in the company. All the code that we built so far, it's all proprietary, 95%, and we have only the payment gateway that, of course, is an external provider. One last thing as well, on the regulatory side, since we are a SaaS platform, we charge monthly subscription, we are a software provider. So we don't need to get any license to operate in any market, in any coins, and with any software. Tomorrow, in the future, when we will be able to also obtain an FCA license, and for that I already joined with my previous company, the FCA Sandbox. That is a program in the UK that allows startups to get a license almost for free. When we will join with Coinrule, we will also able to charge on transaction, also on volume, and have more sophisticated pricing model. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Any particular questions at the moment?
So maybe one here from Rita. This is just for clarification because it went quite fast, lots of numbers and so on. So you have a model now as a software that doesn't require license, but that's like a phase 1. You already built in developments into that. So what sort of timing are we talking about from moving from the where you want to get business first towards the more advanced ones? What sort of timing are we talking about there?
It's probably around 1.5 years, where we will have you will have a monthly subscription, and then on top of that you will have a small fees on each transaction or on the volume that you trade per month. So that's still on definition, because one good metric for us is we have around 13,000 rules created per month, and this strategy, they do at least one transaction each of them. So you can understand then if we start charging per transaction or per rule, then there's a big revenue opportunity there. So that's something that it's 1 year, 1.5 years away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and out of your 7,500 registered users, how many of those are repeat users?
The 30% of them, they come back. So that's the retention is something that at the moment for a B2C fintech crypto product, it's not the best. So that's actually our challenge. Now we are really working hard in terms of user experience to increase the stickiness and the retention. And we are very open about it. The culture of the company is very transparent on every aspect. And then in terms of paying customer, recurring paying customer, last month there were 55. So this month we had probably 10, 20 more. So I would say it's around 70 recurring paying customers. And every month we grow around 10% in terms of paying customers.
Okay.
Tell me, maybe you guys can put up the canvas again.
Oleg, do you have it?
Can you explain what is really the unique value proposition that you have, and what differentiates you from any other platform that I I can make certain rules to sell or buy coins.
Sure. So the main difference is that for some reason the trading space forgot the retail investors. They just got so much into super advanced, overloaded interfaces that no one actually became the Apple of trading, the Apple of trading. So that's it. And so basically it means that you leave out 90% of the retail investors that is totally underserved. If you think about it, it's absurd that in 2020 there is not a single good backtesting tool that anyone can use. So actually that's the next step for us. We are working very hard to build the backtesting functionality. So the ability to build a strategy and test it on historical data in a very simple way. There is nothing. If you go online, I challenge you to find something that's usable for me, for like someone that is not really high frequency trader. So if you are a professional, there's a lot of software out there. It's great. You can make a lot of money if you know what you're doing. But if you are a beginner trader, usually a platform like Money Farm, Wealthify, Nutmeg, they treat you like a dumb, like basically that you don't have a little bit of brain as a retail investors. Our assumption is that if you have money savings and you want to invest them, 80% you should put it in a passive tool, in a passive product. So you put your money, you wait 1 year, you get your 7% out at the end of the year. But then 20% should be actually active so that you can take advantage of the volatility of the market. And also you can play and you can learn how to manage your finances. So there's a big financial inclusion in our selling point that is, of course, accessibility and simplicity. So also not to forget that in some countries, you cannot really trade and buy all the possible assets. If you think about Indonesia, if you think about Brazil, if you think about underserved market, they cannot really buy Tesla stock, Apple stock, or specific type of cryptocurrencies. So with us, we are actually planning to integrate also stocks, FX, and commodities slowly in our roadmap in this year. They will be able also to buy these tools by using what's called synthetics in crypto. It's basically coins that represent another asset. So there is a gold synthetic that represents gold with the same price and same behavior. So there is a big financial inclusion gig, and the selling point is that very simple to use, and it allows to do things in a novel way that no one has done before in the world. We have two competitors. One is called Madrex. The other one is called Shrimpy. We met Shrimpy, beautiful people from Mountain View. We went there, we met them, but they are focused again just on rebalancing and on the business to business model of selling data. Where Madrex, it's actually focused for the 10% advanced users. So actually it's a very underserved market, this one. And the way we do it is very novel. No one does it.
Rita?
Yeah, so what are you looking from the accelerator program?
Oleg, want to reply?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like three things ideally. I mean, we're looking for, first of all, we are still learning. I mean, we have like a lot of things are working for us, but there are a lot of challenges every day, and we're trying to better understand how to deal with them. And these challenges are very specific, how to improve our funnels. We track our funnels across the entire user journey, from registration all the way to a user having a live trade, to a user subscribing to a plan, to a user coming back, creating more trades. How can we improve these metrics? So we're looking to learn a lot about this. Second, we're looking to build our network. Obviously, this is a great community here. I love, I have a lot of background. I grew up in Frankfurt, so in Germany. I have a lot of connection to Israel as well. It's kind of really, this accelerator covers, in a way a bit my life, but my network is in London. So this is a great opportunity for us to continue building that network. And three, we are fundraising. So we raised, I think Gabriele mentioned, but we raised last year 250,000 USD from MKB Bank in Hungary and two angel investors.
Sorry, how much was that?
USD 250,000.
250, okay.
That was last year. And we've got to this point with that funding. And we are now looking, so we are planning to raise a bigger seed, or call it early Series A, in Q1 next year. But we are now raising, £300,000 to focus on fulfilling our goals for this year.
And the pre-Series A for next year, how What's
then
the target?
Yeah, so we are seeing at this round now a small bridge round to keep us going to reach specific metrics for then raise the 2 million round in February next year. We already been in contact with many VCs. They are very interested in the 2 million raise. So last week we talked with Anderson Horowitz in California. They are really, really excited about the product. The minimum ticket is 2 million, so they cannot join now. We also talked with a few other big VCs like CVVC, Global Funder Capital, etc. So one of the good ones. So now we are looking for a bridge investment that let us having at least around 8K revenue per month, more stickiness, so that we are ready for the big round. And now we are fundraising, as Oleg said, between 300 to 400K euros.
So what is your KPI before opening the next big round?
I think the main one is the monthly recurring revenue, because we have a lot of the VCs, a lot of the big good VCs we spoke to, they're actually pretty concrete with the number of monthly recurring revenue they're looking at. As Gabriele said, we're looking to get this year to 8K. By early next year, we want to be at least a 10K monthly revenue run rate, like at least. And then we've literally been told that with that we would be able to raise the money we want to raise. And I mean, it's been growing quite well, but I think we can grow even faster once we actually have the money from this round and can put that into both the product team as well as the marketing team, and can actually meet those metrics.
How scalable is the product, and how do you scale it with more money actually?
So there is a huge opportunity here. So with the cryptocurrency, we are talking about a market that is billions. But then if you go to stocks, commodities, and traditional assets, we are talking about trillions. So in that sense, scaling, it's needed at the moment, and the financing is needed in order to have also some paid marketing in place. We did some experiments with newsletter campaigns. So it works very well. So it's basically having a placement, an ad placement inside a newsletter that you read. In that way, we reach people that are intellectually active and actually are really into active investing. For that, the cost per click was around $1.8. On Facebook, we did some experiments, finding some shortcuts, because crypto and Facebook does really work very well. So we need to always find some growth path to be able to advertise. For that one, we are already around $1.5 per click. So we are doing experiments on several channels, so that when the right financing comes in place, we can actually have campaigns on those medias and also activate influencer marketing. So in the crypto, that's one of the most effective way to get exposure. It's influencer marketing. Also because we work a lot with affiliates. So we have like already 20 affiliates in place now. They bring a lot of traffic to us, but also because we do a lot of partnerships. So we are in partnership with the eToroX, Binance. They give us a kickback. We're in the broker program with Kraken Future. For example, with Kraken Future, we did a cross campaign on the newsletter. We did PR, we did social release. We also did a technical integration, and they put $10,000 on the campaign as well. So we actually do proper partnership, also with the liquid, with Panda, etc., etc. So that's our way to reach the customer, and we need to scale that also by employing one guy that just takes care of that, a marketing guy, and by doing paid campaign.
And maybe Ram, maybe just to add from also a product point of view, we are getting user requests literally every day. So one of the kind of, let's say, metrics that makes me very happy is how deeply the users actually care about the product. Like we basically, when something doesn't work, our users, they don't just leave, they insult us in the chat. But I think that's actually a great thing, because it shows, you know, if you use something that you don't care about, you just go if something doesn't work out. But like these people really care.
And actually, yeah, because we have bugs, actually. We have bugs like all the startups. And actually 2 weeks ago, we just got the first people swearing at us in Korea, and that was quite an experience.
Very nice. Yeah, Rita, go ahead.
I'm not sure. I've been the only one asking the question.
Maybe Carl looked very interested.
Yeah, one question, because on your, it's kind of a trading platform. That's what I understood. And what about that competition? You mentioned the two companies, it's Matrix and 3Commerce, but I'm not really sure how fast this platform on trading could be copied, because from my point of view, it's looking like just one platform where assets could be traded. And why shouldn't I be able to copy this asset trading to another platform once they just moved it over?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the same question like if you give me a cardboard and a black pen, I can copy you an iPhone within 3 minutes. From outside, it looks the same. From inside, it's actually not working. So the arbiter that we built, it's actually the technology behind the very nice and simple interface is relatively complex. That it requires months, and also except that the technology requires months and months and a lot of capital to build. It also we have about now we have around 7 partnerships in place, and we have brand recognition, and that's actually much stronger than just building a new product. That's actually a very big barrier to entry, having already all the partnership in place and the branding recognition on top of our proprietary technology that we do stuff our own way, of course. So there are these 3 elements that kind of stops someone else to. I think if someone wants to copy us, probably we need at least a couple of millions and 1 year of work. So they would rather just acquire instead of just. We actually talked with the CEO of Coinbase. What's called Zion Josh? What was his name?
Fares. It was here in Sishan Fares. It was
the UK. Yeah, the UK CEO. UK, yeah. And so he told us like, yeah, we are interested in building up the ecosystem. We see you as one of the players, and you bring traffic to us. So we don't see you as a competitor. We don't want to copy that. We also talked with the M&A department at Binance because we were asking for investment, and they were saying like, look, guys, much too small for us. We don't really do this small investment. If you have the right number, you're big. We have a lot of liquidity. We just buy you out, and that's it. If you need something like this. So there are like, it's kind of, they are not really interested on that market. And also for us, we want to be agnostic on all the platforms. So we connect now to 10 exchanges. And the idea is in the future that you will be able to do arbitrage between exchanges. So, we are kind of a layer on top of them. And that's, we see that as a very big selling point.
I also have a question with regard to your competitors. It's like you mentioned the simplicity, and that that's your USP, that also like not heavy traders and experts can use your platform, right? So what do you mean by simplicity? Is it like that you educate the traders on your platform, or is it like that the rules are very simple, like you showed, when the Bitcoin goes up, then please sell then, and because I didn't get really the difference, what is making you more simple to use than the others?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. Thanks for asking. So it gives me the opportunity to maybe show you some of the interfaces. Or like if you can share the screen of some of the typical trading platform, if you see it, you just run away. It's just like a lot of graphs, number. It's crazy. You don't understand anything. It's all about YTD, churn, all like crazy names. We use plain English language. On the interface, you can literally say if Bitcoin goes down 3% and the market is going this way, do this action. So it's really for like dummy people, like for everyone that doesn't know trading. For me, I don't really understand all that crazy stuff. I learned, of course, over the years. It's really, really, really dummy. And it's the same way to say that if you think about Airbnb, if you think about Uber, if you think about all the famous now tech companies that are out there, some of the proposition, 80% of the proposition, I saw it somewhere, the statistics, it's actually can be copied within 3 months with the right amount of money. So if you take a Uber app, I can copy the Uber app for you in 4 weeks. So the actual concept of the technology in itself, what you see is not actually what's behind in the back room, in the machine room. So in our case, the arbiter, that's what controls actually the trading strategy on the back. It's relatively complex to build, even if the interface looks very simple.
Okay, but still, even okay, got the point that the interface is more simple to use, but still I need to understand the trading market, right? So like for example, let's take me. I'm really not experienced in that. So and you mentioned before it would be your recommendation to have like 80% of your money in passive investment and actively 20%. So let's say I would take this recommendation and log on your platform after the session, let's say. I still would not know, even if it is an easy interface, I still would not know what to do with the money actually, right? So you know, maybe that's also a point why you have like not so many recurring people, because your proposition is that it's very simple, but if I log on, I still don't know.
Oh, that's a very good question. Actually,
it's just
that's a perfect. There are like two things. The first thing is that we actually have a conversion from the visit to the actual paid customer of 2%. That's pretty average in our industry in terms of SaaS. Secondly, is maybe you are not the right customer for us, and that's fine. You can just go somewhere else and work with a broker, and that's also fine. The third thing is actually then if you wanna follow our suggestion of the 20% active, you can come into the app and you have a demo exchange. It means that you can take on one of the preset strategies that is very simple. You can read it actually. So you can read it, you can say, oh, it looks okay. You can actually use it on a demo exchange, so you don't spend any money. It's a simulation. And then you can do 3, 4, 5 of them. Then you can see how that goes. And then when you feel comfortable that you have learned something in the learning center, you have learned the strategy, then you can say, okay, now I start to make my first strategy. And a strategy can also be what Oleg has, that is amazing. Every month, Oleg, can you explain your accumulation strategy with the bank account?
I have actually multiple strategies running on Coinrule, but in very simple terms. I mean, I'm a big believer, of course, in the digital currency space. So every month I send €100 from my bank account to Coinbase, and every month then Coinrule runs a rule to buy with those €100 Ethereum for me. So every month I accumulate. And of course, if I was doing, I mean, it's a small help, but if I had to do this all manually, it's easy to set up a standing order, but then I would have to log into the exchange every time, set up an order. I would stop doing it. With Coinrule, I just do it every month. But
so
then
it's like putting your money in a pension fund, or like saying, I get the salary on the 27th of the month, send €50 every month to Coinrule and buy the Bitcoin. So in long term, you basically accumulate it. That's very easy strategy that everyone can understand.
So guys, so if I'm a hobbyist trader and I'm having all these troubles, how do I know about you?
So, well, good question. I mean, of course, we would like even more hobbyist traders to know about us. Right now, the sales channels, as I think Gabriele was describing, is that people find us because they Google for the right things. But we're also working on being mentioned more and more across the press. So for now, we are just within the, let's say, cryptocurrency space. But we are also, once we also have additional funding, we'll start being included in more mainstream publications.
So now the strategy in terms of PR, we are being strong and big in the crypto space. And after when we have also IG Index, Trading 212, interactive broker and integrated, that we can trade stock, then we're going to move to mainstream media for the likes of the Telegraph, the BBC, and other like major newspaper around Europe. Of course, for that we need some funding because it's expensive. I'm just checking.
Talking about the users a bit. So obviously we need to try and find how to go to market, how to better increase that user base. Can you define your ideal users? Yeah.
Yes, one thing, like I was just Googling because we usually on the. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we usually rank very well with automated trading Coinbase. So I was just going automated investment because investment is more broad and more hobbyist. for hobbyist traders. And actually, we are first in Google. Look, cryptocurrency automatic trader on Coinbase for Coinrule. That's all for free. It's all at. So to answer to your question, actually, we are first, second, third, fourth. No, this is Coinbase. Okay, so we are first and second. So yeah, to answer to your question, Rita, it's actually they Google us.
Okay.
And to get then back to Ron's question on like our typical users. So right now it's millennial investors, people between the age of 30 and 40, just like Gabriele and myself. It's actually funny because we first had the problem and then started to build the company because we were trading, we were excited by the opportunities, we were making money with trading and investing, but we also felt there was a lot of things lacking. So actually the idea was originally Gabriele's because he had a specific trading idea he wanted to implement and realized that there was nothing in the market that let him do it. Now, the typical early adopter are people like us, people who are slightly techy, people who have, you know, an iPhone, or people who work at Citibank and want to invest their money a bit more actively. But of course, as the opportunity is becoming more mainstream, this expands as well.
Hassan, would you like to comment? Have any questions?
Yeah, I've been listening a bit because I mean, trading is nothing that you know comes across typically in my universe, especially trading strategies, because it's you know where I see more is in the blockchain space generally, but not necessarily in the currency trading sort of thing. What I do sort of like is this idea, and I think we may need to flesh it out a bit more, is this you know, making it easy. I fully understand. I've always admired people, whether they're crypto traders or other form of traders, you know, they have like 5 different screens. We've all seen it, you know, and they're following certain things and signals. And for many people, it looks like, oh, wow, you know, how do they do it? So giving accessibility to a group of persons to, let's say, coin trading and coin investment in a much more easier way to use, I think is at least one step forward towards opening up that space. For the moment, I couldn't tell you whether that's the only step that needs to be taken. I mean, Lucy has asked, so what comes next? And I think you've given a good answer basically already, that, you know, we're you can test a bit, but we're also offering you some pre-packaged strategies maybe that you can start using until you familiarize yourself with it. So I think there's something there. And I've been thinking in the meantime about, you know, which investors could possibly be interested to invest into your, let's call it seed round or something like that. And I may have a couple of ideas that we can then maybe at another point in time discuss within the group and with yourself, of course.
Thank you. Thanks. That would be great.
Thanks, Hassan. Well, what would be good is, Rita, also, I know you always have good comments, good ideas when it comes to a B2C startup. Maybe we can talk a bit later on that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Accelerator Frankfurt predominantly has focused on B2B startups, but we occasionally have the B2Cs. And once, as Gabriel explained, who are their target users, how can such a sales funnel be built? Obviously, coming number one on a Google search is already beyond extraordinary, I would say. I'm actually a target client of yours, and I am a client of yours, Coinrule, basically because I have a few cryptocurrencies that I hold, and I don't want to keep my phone open to see when there's a 5% drop or a 5% up. I'd like something to just, I want to put the rule in there, and when it drops 5%, if there's funds available, please buy, and vice versa. If it goes up, please sell. That's as easy as that, and that's where we need to increase, right, Rita?
Yeah, I was wondering one way of looking at this go-to-market and the target group of the 30 to 40-year old people. Sometimes it could be beneficial maybe to set up a focus group meeting with, I don't know, 5 or 10 of these 40-year-old millennial investors, because they have their own needs and their own time requirements, their own overall requirements, why they would want to do or use such a tool to gain a little more insights into what the customers are really looking for. I mean, one thing is the simplicity, but there could be other needs as well. And maybe a focus group meeting with a small group of people who do this thing could be a revealing exercise. I don't know. It's just a suggestion.
I also have.
That's good idea. We currently do user interviews, so we speak a lot to the users. We actually have a lot of recorded user interviews. So if you are interested, we could show you some of them at some point. It's very interesting. Like, I think a lot of users, they want to trade, but they, of course, in the long run, they want to become better at generating profit. So every opportunity we give them to improve, they take it with a lot of appreciation. So that's kind of something we are now fine-tuning, maybe suggesting to people templates depending on the market environment, etc. And actually, as Gabriele is sharing, we've had a very impressive statistic. It's something we're actually very, very proud of. A lot of our users had, let's say, defensive strategies in place. So when the market collapsed in mid-March, they were able to come out of it in profit because the rules triggered, and they sold their cryptocurrencies into basically, let's say, more stable assets. And 67% of the rules were in profit, which is something that's exactly what we are aspiring to be, like an instrument that helps our users to do better, although they don't necessarily have the experience of, a hedge fund manager. And I think we are improving in that. I think we are on a good path, and this was a major milestone for us.
Yeah,
I have two questions / comments. One is we just advised on a deal called Trade Republic. So this is one of those zero fee brokers. It was at an extremely good valuation. I don't want to say high valuation, obviously a good valuation. Is this a model that transports into the crypto trading world as well, whether there's sort of like zero trades, or is this something nothing to do with you because you're just giving the trading strategies, but the actual fee structure is more or less driven by the exchanges? So maybe just around the fee structure, and could there be a move towards zero fees? One question. And the other question is more generally, where do you see the crypto world moving? I mean, what I've been reading about is, of course, you've got Bitcoin, which is the huge dinosaur, basically, as I understand. And then you've got more or less all of the other coins, with Ethereum probably leading. And the question is, will they become relevant and big enough in order to actually support massive trading? Or will it all be in Bitcoin? And is Bitcoin itself big enough to support all of this? Or are we at the end just talking about a too small pot of currency overall to really support a huge business? Again, just looking at this from very far away.
I mean, we are both very opinionated.
Yeah. You want to respond?
I respond to the really last bit. I will think to give you an icon or like a very strong image.
There's 3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes. I don't see in the future, but also now I already see that happening, that a big company, tech company, starts with a share structure that is not on tokenized. So, for example, if now Coinrule will go IPO, it will not go IPO. It will do probably an initial an STO. It will do an STO, so a tokenized IPO, basically. So it will take 10 years, even 20, to actually reach that point. But all the Nasdaq, it will become all tokenized. Oleg?
Yeah. So just quickly, maybe on your first question, So Trade Republic, it's very similar in the model to Robinhood, or in the UK, companies like Free Trade. So there's one thing, if you don't pay a commission, it means that you are the product, right? It's a bit like with Facebook and its users.
Sure.
What like Robinhood does is they front run, they sell the trading data, the users to high frequency traders who then front run those trades. It's not something really we do, because we kind of want to be the resistance. We want to be part of the people who are fighting back against exactly this like algo trading funds out there. Now, for us, someone like Trade Republic, it's an exchange. Ultimately, it's where trades settle. So we could connect with them, and then our users could potentially build strategies which then run on it. So we are ultimately a layer above. We charge this monthly subscription fee, which comes on top of whatever exchange fee the user pays, and provide you additional ways to build. For your second question, I love it because it's something I am deeply passionate about. But I was just today reading about the DeFi space, the decentralized finance space on Ethereum. I mean, few people know what's been developing in the background. Like the first bonds have been issued on the Ethereum blockchain. Like you can actually track Ethereum issued bonds through a Bloomberg trading terminal now. I think there was a 50 million bond, but there's a pipeline of 500 million. In terms of DeFi users, today it's a small user base, but it's literally growing. I was reading an article today. It's growing 0.5% every single day. That doesn't sound like much, but it means that in 2 years' time, there'll be over 10 million users in the decentralized finance space. Obviously, we don't have time now to dive in too much, but like I think the opportunities are immense. And the real value of it is the different coins create different economic incentives and different economic structures, which means that there will be an ecosystem of coins which are tradable, which is exactly what for us is the important factor. I would love to speak much more about that.
Maybe we'll continue at going forward.
And one last thing to close up this argument. It's funny, but I just was thinking now that basically we are more in if you take the etymological terms of a Robin Hood that was giving the money from the rich to the poor, we're actually more Robin Hood than Robin Hood the app itself, because we actually giving to the people that power to fight back all these algorithmic trading people that are scamming you continuously. So that's something that we will elaborate with an article probably.
Yep, good.
For sure, guys. Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time. One top thing that we Accelerator Frankfurt find in the platform is your user interface. Extremely simple compared to other apps that we've tried out there. And really, trading is already quite a complex area for many people. Trading in cryptocurrencies adds another complexity. So if you can actually bring it, like you say, to the simple people, it's really awesome. I will follow up with Rita on her idea on focus groups. I liked that. Oleg, please send me also links to some of the interviews you have with your people.
Yes.
And last but not least, on our live stream, when you guys are on, we seem to have most viewers. So maybe it's the B2C aspect, maybe it's your active users, because you have a few thousand of them. I believe it's 8,000. So well done. Mentors, really thank you very much. Stay on this channel for the final startup. We're going to take a break, 5 minutes, stretch a bit, and thank you for being there. Tim,
thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.